Lord, I come before you this morning with a heart that feels the weight of another day beginning. Before I speak my own words, let me first hear yours, for they are life to my weary soul. Your word says in the book of Psalms, chapter 73, verse 26, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." This is not just ancient poetry written on old pages. This is a promise spoken directly into this moment, into this heaviness I feel as my eyes open to another morning. When the psalmist wrote these words, he understood something profound about the human condition, that our bodies grow tired, that our hearts can feel like they're giving out, that there are mornings when even waking up feels like too much to bear. But in the same breath, he declared a greater truth, that you, God, are the strength that holds us when our own strength crumbles. This verse is permission to be honest. It tells me I don't have to pretend my flesh is strong when it isn't. I don't have to lie about my heart being full of energy when it feels depleted before the day even starts. My flesh and heart may fail. They do fail, Lord, but that failure isn't the end of the story. It's actually the beginning of discovering what it means to lean entirely on you. When I have nothing left in me, you become everything. When my heart wakes up tired again, you are the strength that carries it through. Lord, there's something about waking up tired that feels different from any other kind of exhaustion. It's not the tiredness that comes after a long day of work, after I've poured myself into tasks and responsibilities. That kind of tired makes sense. But this is waking up already depleted, opening my eyes and immediately feeling the burden of existence pressing down before I've even gotten out of bed. It's a weariness that sleep doesn't fix, a fatigue that lives somewhere deeper than my body. I know you see this, God. You see the mornings when I wake up, and the first thought isn't gratitude or hope, but a quiet question. How will I get through today? You see when my heart feels like it's already running on empty, when there's nothing in my emotional reserves, when the simple act of facing another day feels overwhelming. This isn't dramatic. This isn't exaggeration. This is just the honest reality of what it feels like to be human in a broken world, carrying burdens that sometimes feel too heavy. But your word reminds me that this weakness, this failure of flesh and heart, doesn't disqualify me from your presence. It actually positions me perfectly to receive your strength. Because your strength isn't something I add to my own. It's something that replaces my weakness entirely. When the Apostle Paul cried out to you about his own limitations, you told him something that echoes through every tired morning. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Perfect in weakness. Not despite weakness, but in it. Your strength doesn't wait for me to pull myself together. It doesn't require me to show up already energized and capable. It meets me in the tiredness. It fills the empty spaces. It becomes the very thing my heart lacks when it wakes up heavy and depleted. I think about how often I've tried to manufacture my own strength, Lord. How many mornings I've forced myself to push through, to put on a brave face, to convince myself and others that I'm fine when I'm not. There's a kind of exhaustion that comes from pretending, from trying to be strong enough on my own, from refusing to admit that my flesh and heart are failing. But your word today gives me permission to stop pretending. It invites me to bring my tired heart to you exactly as it is. You don't need me to be strong, God. You need me to be honest. You need me to recognize that without you, I am insufficient. That my heart, left to itself, will fail. That my flesh, in all its limitation, cannot sustain itself. This isn't pessimism, it's realism. It's acknowledging the truth of my human condition so that I can access the greater truth of your divine provision. When I read that you are the strength of my heart, I realize this means something specific and practical. It means that the capacity to face today doesn't have to come from within me. The ability to keep going, to keep loving, to keep hoping, to keep showing up, it can come from you. My heart may wake up tired, but yours never does. My strength may be depleted before the day begins, but yours is endless, inexhaustible, always available. There's a beautiful exchange that happens when I stop relying on my own strength and start receiving yours. It's not that you give me a boost of energy, like some spiritual caffeine. It's deeper than that. You become the very source from which my heart draws life. You don't just help me. You sustain me. You don't just encourage me. You carry me. And in that carrying, I find that I can breathe again. The weight doesn't necessarily disappear, but I'm no longer holding it alone. This is what it means that you are my portion, Lord. A portion is what sustains, what nourishes, what keeps us alive. You are not just part of what I need. You are everything I need. When my heart is tired, you are rest. When my spirit is weak, you are strength. When my soul feels empty, you are fullness. You fill every deficit. You meet every lack. You are enough when I am not. So let me ask my own heart this morning. Why am I trying so hard to be enough on my own? Why do I wake up feeling like I have to conjure strength from somewhere within me, when you've already promised to be the strength I need? What am I afraid will happen if I admit that I'm tired, that I'm weak, that I can't do this alone? Maybe I'm afraid of being seen as inadequate. Maybe I'm afraid that if I stop pushing, everything will fall apart. Maybe I've believed the lie that strong faith means never feeling weak, never waking up heavy, never struggling to find the energy to face another day. But that's not what your word says, Lord. Your word says my flesh and heart may fail, and that's okay, because you are the strength that holds me together when I'm falling apart. There's a difference between giving up and giving over. Giving up is hopelessness, but giving over is trust. It's saying, God, I don't have what it takes today, but you do. I'm bringing you my tired heart, my depleted spirit, my empty reserves, and I'm asking you to be what I cannot be for myself. That's not weakness of faith. That's the very essence of faith. It's recognizing that you are God, and I am not, that you are infinite, and I am limited, that you are the source, and I am simply the vessel that needs filling. When I stop performing strength and start receiving yours, everything shifts. The pressure lifts. The striving stops. I don't have to wake up with energy I don't have, or pretend to feel capable when I don't. I can simply wake up, acknowledge the tiredness, and turn to you. I can say, Lord, my heart is tired again. Be my strength today, and you will be. Not because I've earned it or deserved it, but because that's who you are, the God who meets us in our weakness and becomes everything we lack. This morning, I'm choosing to believe that my tired heart doesn't disqualify me from your purposes. It positions me to experience your strength in ways I never could if I felt capable on my own. This weariness isn't a sign that something is wrong with my faith. It's an invitation to discover what it means to truly depend on you, not just in theory, but in the practical reality of waking up to another day. So I come to you now, Lord, not with polished prayers, but with honest need. Thank you for being a God who doesn't require me to have it all together before I approach you. Thank you for the promise that when my flesh and heart fail, you become my strength. Thank you for not being distant or disappointed when I wake up tired, but for being present, compassionate, ready to carry what I cannot. I ask you this morning to be exactly what your word promises, the strength of my heart. I don't know how to make myself feel less tired, how to manufacture energy I don't have, how to erase the heaviness that greets me when I open my eyes. But I don't need to know how to do those things, because you are the one who strengthens me. So I'm asking, strengthen me today, not just my body, but my heart, not just my circumstances, but my spirit. Give me what I need to take the next step, and then the one after that. Help me to stop measuring my worth by how strong I feel. Help me to stop believing that my tiredness means I'm failing. Teach me to see my weakness as the very place where your power shows up most clearly. Let me experience what it means to have you as my portion, my sustenance, my sufficiency, my everything. When I feel empty, fill me. When I feel weak, uphold me. When I feel like I can't go on, carry me forward. Your word tells me in the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 29, He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. This is your character. Lord, this is what you do. You don't wait for us to get strong on our own and then celebrate our success. You meet us in our weariness and become our strength. You find us in our weakness and increase our power, not by our effort, but by your grace. So I receive that grace now. I receive your strength into my tired heart. I'm not trying to work up faith or summon enthusiasm I don't feel. I'm simply opening my hands and my heart and saying, Lord, I need you. Be my strength today. Be my portion. Be everything my heart lacks this morning. And I trust that you will be, because that's who you've always been and who you'll always be. Help me walk through this day, not in my own power, but in yours. When tasks feel overwhelming, remind me that you are my strength. When emotions threaten to overtake me, remind me that you hold my heart. When exhaustion whispers that I can't keep going, remind me that I don't have to, because you're the one carrying me. Let every moment of weakness become a moment where I experience your sufficiency more deeply. I pray for peace in the midst of tiredness, not the peace that comes from having energy, but the peace that comes from knowing you're with me, regardless of how I feel. Not the peace that requires everything to be easy, but the peace that trusts you even when things are hard. Let my heart rest in you today, Lord. Let my spirit find its strength not in my own capacity, but in your endless, unfailing power. As I move through this day, help me to be gentle with myself. Help me to remember that you don't condemn me for being tired. You don't expect me to be superhuman. You made me human, with all the limitations that come with flesh and heart, and you promise to be my strength when those limitations become clear. So let me lean into that promise without guilt or shame. Let me receive your help without feeling like I should be able to do it alone. And when another morning comes and my heart wakes up tired again, because it might help me to return to this truth, that you are the strength of my heart. Not sometimes, not conditionally, always, eternally, unfailingly. My flesh and heart may fail 1,000 times, but you will be my strength 1,000 times and more. You never run out. You never get tired of being my portion. You never withdraw your presence because I need you too much. So I rest in you now, Lord. I trust you with this tired heart. I believe that your strength is already at work in me, even when I can't feel it. I believe that you will carry me through this day, not because I'm strong enough, but because you are. And that's enough. You are enough. You have always been enough. You will always be enough. In the name of Jesus, who understands our weariness and invites us to come to him when we are heavy laden, I pray, let your strength be my strength today and every day. Let your peace guard my heart. Let your presence be the portion that sustains me. I receive it all by faith, trusting that you are who you say you are, and that you will do what you've promised to do. May your strength rise where my weakness falls. May your power be made perfect in my tired places. May I walk through this day carried by your grace, held by your love, sustained by your faithful presence. You are the strength of my heart, Lord, today and always. Amen.